Well, unbelievable weather today. Great week of warmth, so it was good to be out there. The old soup bone felt good today throwing in that heat, and yeah, good practice. And we'll take tomorrow to kind of digest what we put in today and catch our breath and enjoy Christmas, and then get back to work Friday. But looking forward to a great challenge on Monday night against a really good football team that's playing at a high level, and it'd be a good opportunity for us to kind of test ourselves. So take any questions you have.
Kurt, what are some of the tenets of that defense? A lot of young guys, a lot of guys that are developed, like Kobe Durant kid in the back.
Yeah, I think it's first of all well coached by Chris Shula. I think guys understand the scheme, play hard. They don't beat themselves. I think you do see the two edge rushers being really good players for them, impacting the game. I think the interior D linemen are also really strong players. A couple of younger guys there who are really ascending. Nate Landman's done an outstanding job for them. So you kind of see players all over the field, and it's a big reason why they are where they are as far as record and production and all that.
Verse and Young are the outside.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right.
It's on the menu in the Cousins household for Christmas.
Christmas tends to be a Thanksgiving-style meal. Is that typical for people? That's pretty standard. Day one install. Probably more of a Thanksgiving menu. Cinnamon rolls, maybe a little more bakery items. When I'm done playing, it's going to get a little more naughty in terms of what I eat on Christmas. So more the tea rings and the cinnamon rolls and the Danish Kringles. There's a deep cut for you. So I'll get in on those when I'm retired, but until then, try to keep it relatively proper. But when I retire, I'll be real naughty.
I just Googled Danish Kringles. It's kind of like a puff pastry.
Yeah, the Racine Danish Kringle is one of the greatest things I've ever eaten.
Like
Racine Danish Kringle. A lot of companies will send you them as like a random gift, and they're outstanding. So
obviously won't be on the field at the same time as Matthew Stafford, but he is a very big topic of conversation right now in terms of an MVP type race. I'm curious kind of what you have seen from him over the course of his career, but the fact that it's kind of peaking at this point in time in, as he's 38.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, I'm a football fan, so I remember in high school, I was a sophomore in high school, I think, and I got one of those magazines that talks about the, high school recruits coming out. Rashard Mendenhall was on the cover as a senior at a high school out of Chicago. And then they had the, way too early top 25 rising juniors who are coming out, who are getting offers, who still have 2 more years of high school football before they would. And Matthew Stafford was the number 1 player, out of Highland Park. So I remember back then, this is 2004, being like, okay, there's the top guy, for in the future, Matthew Stafford. So he's kind of always had that, if you will. Went to Georgia, played for a top team, number 1 pick. Was a great leader for the Lions for, I believe, 12 seasons. Constantly made plays for them. You talk to, I was with the Vikings, we'd play them twice a year, and you talk to the Vikings defensive players, and, they would always say that, Matthew is so underrated, so difficult to play against, so talented. His tape kind of makes you say, wow. And for whatever reason, at times they struggled to kind of support him or put around him what they needed. And so our defensive players would say, man, if they ever could, give him what he, really would need around him, you'd see what we see, how hard he is to go against. And, when he went to LA, that's basically what happened. They won the Super Bowl, and he's been in the MVP conversation and been a multiple time, playoff winner. So, he's just kind of continuing on the path he's been on for a long time.
Kirby talks so much about Bijan Robinson. Tyler Algier, is pretty great 1B running back. What have you liked about playing him the last few years? And he's been a real red zone problem also, I think, as 8 touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean, he just runs with such great body lean and intent. So many times I'll hand the ball off and I'm carrying out my fake and trying to look back at the run, and there's maybe an unblocked player near the play or the first one to make the tackle, and I kind of think to myself, like, I wouldn't want to be that guy, the first guy to the party, because he will punish you. And he just runs, again, with such great body lane that he's kind of delivering the blow. And, he's great in pass protection. He's great in the pass game, catching the ball, being where he needs to be, running routes. He has good eyes, seeing things. He's very accountable. He's the guy you wish you could just play with the rest of your career or for all of your career, because he's just checking every box. And he's a number one running back. It's just on our team. We also have Bijan, and so you kind of move them back and forth. But on plenty of teams I've been on, he'd be the number one back.
We've seen Philip Rivers jump into Indianapolis in 2 weeks. Just he shows up and their offense is pretty good. We saw Baker a few years ago go to Los Angeles. He was there 3 days. They won a game. Is there anything that big picture that we can learn from that you can take from that in terms of how that happens?
Yeah, I think I'm sure whether it's the coach, like Sean McVay with the case of Baker, or Coach Steichen in the case of Phillip, like there's probably hey, let's kind of understand what you do well. How can we make you feel comfortable? How can we kind of call the game to put you in a place to succeed? But then also, I'm sure the player's able to just kind of play free, and you're almost you don't have that much to be thinking about, and you have a lot to be thinking about. At the same time, you don't have that much to be thinking about because you haven't been there that long. So you're just kind of playing and letting the game come to you. But sometimes a change of scenery, change of perspective can be really good. And I think what Philip's done, he had a history with Shane Steichen, so that helps as well. But and Philip also as a coach, I think he's been out there spinning the ball still the last several years, and I know he's got that field turf set up in Fairhope by his house, so he's out there on the field a lot, throwing and being around ball, and he's the kind of guy who just loves ball. And I went down to visit with him with Nick Mullins a couple of years ago down in Florida, and we spent a few hours with him at his house just talking ball, and then we left, and it was a great few hours. Just really enjoyed it, and it's no surprise to me after spending that time with him, that he would want to come back at 44 and play, because he had been retired for 2 or 3 years at that point, and you could just feel and see his passion and knowledge for the game, and his desire to coach his boys and in his town that he lives in, and so I was really happy for him that he gets another opportunity to go out there and sling it.
Do you have any desire to coach like that in that capacity, like he was doing? You ever think
Possibly. I got 2 boys, and I am very much open to them never playing football, but it's not trending that way. I mean, we spent most of yesterday afternoon playing touch football in the yard. That's all they want to do. So there's a good chance I'll be, helping out. I don't know that I'll ever be like the head coach running the high school team, but I do think I'll be helping out and speaking into stuff as my boys are playing, because I'll want to, kind of help them and give them every opportunity. But we'll see where it goes. I think we'll play a lot of flag football, for a while, and I don't think you can keep the hits off for longer. And then when it gets to be probably high school, go to the real thing. Okay.
When it comes to what you've seen specifically from the Rams defensively, I mean, what is it that they've been able to do well?
Well, I think they got 14 forced fumbles, 15 interceptions. So anytime you're causing the ball to be, turned over, or even if it's not turned over, but just to force the fumble, that says a lot. I think anytime you have 2 rushers that are a real problem, that says a lot. I think anytime you have a scheme that is just, it's well coached, the guys aren't confused, they execute it well, they're in the right spot at the right time, I think that all kind of comes together to make for a lot of good football being played. And football is a complementary game, a team game, and so everything kind of feeds off one another.
And then you talk about Raheem. I mean, you don't talk about it, but I say Raheem mentioned, I think after the game on Sunday, or maybe it was on Monday, about how the arsenal of weapons that this team has was at full strength, basically full capacity. And I can't speak to how many games that they've played together, whether it's Darnell, Drake, Bijan, and Kyle, but they played on Sunday together and had a pretty good game all together. What have you seen from them as a full unit? Like, how much different are they as this offense when they're all together?
Yeah, I think ball can go to anybody on any play. I mean, many times you don't really know when you snap the ball where it's going, and what you want is to know that your 5 eligibles can all contribute and can get open and can make a meaningful impact on the game. And I feel like we have that with the guys that are out there, and That's a comforting feeling as a quarterback. I'm sure it is as a coach, to feel like we can have an impact on the game at each position and kind of try to use them in a way that's well-rounded enough that defenses can't get too much of a beat on what we're trying to do. Keb?
Ricky told us after the game that you were going to talk to Jake about the play.
Yeah. Yeah, once I saw the tape, I think it was a little bit of what I felt in the locker room where, did it go through his two hands, as he would say? Sure. Was it high? Yes. Should I have put it right there? Yes. So I felt like I was culpable, and that hurt, and it was a play that I really wanted. Maybe I wanted it too much, but I wanted that one for him and for us and for our team, and wish I had just kind of, if anything, pulled the string a little bit and just kind of put it right there for him. I wish you guys could have seen the catch he made in practice too. He showed his athleticism. He's a high school quarterback, so very athletic guy, and we'll keep relying on that athleticism, just maybe in different ways moving forward.
That's great.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Carter.